everyone. Thanks for joining in. Good afternoon, Ankur.
Yeah.
Welcome and happy Wednesday to all. My name is Ajit Bedekar, and I have the privilege and honor to introduce Ankur Jain for this session today. Ankur is the founder of Ceekr. Uh, as he says, uh, at heart, by heart, he is a technologist, a hardcore technologist, and uh, the session that we have today is to talk about how AI and coaching amalgamate together. Ankur has spent last several years working on this, researching on this subject, and Ceekr, Ceekr, as the name suggests, the name of the company, the name of the um, uh, organization that Ankur runs, uh, is working in this space for last several years and has come up with a very innovative tool called cognitive attention test. We will know more about this in the session in the next 40 minutes or so. I'm feeling very honored to actually be a part of this session. And all I can say is I have experienced this firsthand. I have been involved. I've had the opportunity to be part of the immersive program in Ceekr, which is the mind mastery mentorship program. And having come from the coaching background, I am a ICF-PCC certified coach, and I have experienced this myself, where I have utilized the knowledge that I've gained in mind mastery into my coaching practice. While I work with my clients, my coachees, I have utilized this tool, shall I say, the cognitive attention test, and my coachees, my clients have benefited from this immensely. So I am really looking forward for this session. I will hand over to Ankur now, and and moderate this session. I will observe the chat window, as and when there are questions, will probably pop in there and ask those questions to Ankur. So enjoy the session. Please feel free to ask any questions that you may have. It's all yours, Ankur. Thank you.
Thank you, Ajit, for this lovely and warm introduction. Once somebody's studied with you, spent those hours, it's so nice to see those faces back on screen again. I
Yes.
really want to also, before I start, compliment the U Accelerate team. Amit was quite persuasive, but I'm very glad we took this decision. And using this platform has been very fascinating. I just took a brief tour. So I'm enjoying looking at what technology is doing to our interactions. I got a big deck, and pardon me, I've been running some ill health. So if you can't hear me well, tell me. I'm running a bad throat, but we try to do this. Can you see my screen?
Yeah. Yes, we can.
Yeah. So us at Ceekr, today's presentation, we're going to talk about driving organizational profitability through mental well-being. And the theme to today's presentation is going to be about 2 secrets and 3 hidden gems. We'll talk about the most influential and powerful thing in the human life. We'll talk about the new enemy of your profitability, and why we're not awake enough to it. And then we'll also talk about the holy grail of human misery and human potential. So I had the privilege to listen to the keynote speaker today, and he was talking about the half-life of skills, like how people need to reskill in few years now to stay relevant. And that's because there's one skill that is using our mind and attention, which has been which we are not taught anymore in the education system. And what we've done is try to bring that skill to you, and we'll talk about that a little more. So let's start discussing the 2 secrets and the 3 hidden gems. So the first secret is a real hush hush, right? So my question to you is, what's the most influential and powerful thing in human life? And I'd really like to you to give your response in the chat box before I proceed.
Brain. That's the first one that comes up.
Okay, cool. So something that governs your brain. Think about that. Very good answer. But something that governs your brain.
Thoughts.
Thoughts, very important. Something that governs your thoughts.
Control of our brain. Okay. From brain to
Fascinating.
control of our brain. The
Yeah.
government. Interesting. The government. Not
The
sure if it's the
government.
state or the central, but whatever.
Yes, yes. The government has
Emotions.
a huge impact. Let's look
Emotions.
at this question in a
Relationships.
different way. Yes,
Again, a lot of
emotions.
answers.
Yeah. So we move from agrarian economy to the industrial economy. Then we move to the knowledge economy. And now we are moving to dash economy. Anybody wants to hazard a guess here? What is the new economy we've gotten into?
Technology, it says. Gig
Okay.
economy. Somebody saying gig or digital economy. Okay.
Yeah. So, I have a friend in Wall Street, and he would always tell me, he says, watch where the smart money goes, follow the smart money, right?
Hmm.
So, let's see if the smart money gives us the answer to this. Let's look at this, okay? Here are six companies. Their market cap is above $1 trillion. Do you know that there are only 19 countries in the world out of the 195 odd countries, only 19 that have $1 trillion economies? And here are six companies, right? And they have something in common.
Hmm.
And that's what the government has been going after them. If you see some of the news clippings on the right, I don't want to point fingers at anyone, so we blacked some of this out. But the government has been coming after these companies heavily, saying that they are manipulating people's endocrine system by manipulating their attention. So what we've entered right now is the attention economy. Yeah, and we have reason to believe that it's not the first time that we live in attention economy. We used to live in attention economy thousands of years back, according to Indian scriptures. And I'll show you some of the interesting stuff we found during our research, right? So we have entered attention economy. Today, there are companies that systematically know how to grab your attention. And where your attention goes, your time goes. Where your attention goes, your energy goes. Where your attention goes, your money goes. And if you are not thinking about the attention economy, you are not going to make money from industrial licenses anymore. Patents and all are going to go only so far. The knowledge economy is shifting. It's the attention economy, right? So if attention economy is the big secret of today, then the question is, what's happening because of this change, right? And the second one is not that big a secret, but somehow we hush it up, right? So I put a question mark here. Look at what's happening. WHO, US Surgeon General, World Economic Forum, if you look at their reports, they're saying 1 in 8 people is suffering from anxiety and depression alone. There's a mental wellness crisis. 3 in 10 individuals is losing sleep. The Lancet reported that $1 trillion is being lost to mental wellness annually. And that is going to become $6 trillion in 2030. Now, yeah, this is big, but it's not away from us, right? This is happening in our families. This is happening in our workplace. This is happening amongst our friends. And most of all, the big question is, how much money are we losing to this, right? How much money is your coachee, is your business, is your employer losing to stress and anxiety? How much more is this costing insurance companies? That's the big question. And right now, the equation that's emerging is that attention loss equals to poor mental health equals to financial loss. And just so that this is not a theory, I'll show you some hidden gems that prove this, right? So this brings us to why we formed Ceekr. It is a no-brainer. Our attention controls our thoughts and emotions. Our attention can be trained to control our brain, our mind. And we at Ceekr work to help people come in control of their attention and their mind, right? And we are here. The sole purpose of Ceekr is to help solve the mental wellness challenge across the world. And when we set out to do this several years back, we decided we're going to be only a research and technology company, no marketing, no sales. We do that all through coaches, and we have a program for that. So when we started our research, we looked at inspiration from some of the greatest minds in the world. And guess what we found? You know, all of them, Einstein said he turned to Vedanta for inspiration. Gandhi said he got his resilience from Vedanta. And Jobs said that he relied on yogic sciences and meditation practices, right? And he gifted books to people about this. So what did we do? We went and found ourselves this. This is pretty much sums up what we do. This is 2 verses from the 6th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Your mind can be your friend or your enemy. When conquered, it becomes your best friend. If left unconquered, it becomes your worst enemy. So in a nutshell, the skill worth acquiring for life, a skill that will never go out of fashion no matter what economic shift happens, is the ability to understand and manage your mind, right? Which is how you experience life. So we studied 5,000 years of yoga and Vedanta psychology. This form of psychology is referred to as manovigyan. For those of you who don't understand Hindi words, mano means the mind and vigyan means science, the science of the mind. Yeah. And we found that there were 19 principal theses that revolved around this. So we took these 19 principal theses out of 5,000 years of yoga and Vedanta psychology, and we married it with modern computation and neuroscience. And guess what we got out of it? A mental wellness, a cognition AI, and something that can measure cognition, right? And make us understand what challenges are. So the 3 big gems we found in this process, that's what I'm going to walk you through today. The first gem we found was that mind, body, and life experiences are causally connected, right? That means what is happening, even government makes the same rules, but how some people benefit from it and some don't, right? So life experience is determined on the mind body connection. This is a very interesting thing we found. So we've tried to kind of simplify it for here. So let's see, on the left hand side you have all the physical and mental suffering, yeah, that leads to anxiety. So what are these physical sufferings? Body pain, digestive disorders, sleep disorders, right? And huge weight loss, weight gain. Then you have all these mental suffering, which comes from people bullying you, deceiving you, hurting you, confusion, fear. And on the right hand side, you have all these growth things, which are like joy, support of colleagues, friends, cooperation, people giving you the right information, people mentoring you, growth. So this all forms a spectrum. And the very interesting thing, which I think all of you recognize, but to find it uh, mathematically, was that this can be plotted on a spectrum, and people don't experience this as per what's going on in their environment. That means there could be people who have enough care and support, but they don't feel it. And there could be people who have people bullying them, but they don't feel it, right? So where does all this really fit in? Inside your brain, there is a master switch, which is now called the master gland, the hypothalamus. This controls this is where your nervous and your endocrine system meet, right? And this gives commands to all your 11 systems. And this is your resident chemist. This controls the chemical flow in your body. So this controls all the hormones. It has huge influence over your neurotransmitters. And if this, you need a headache medicine only when first the hypothalamus has given such chemicals which are giving you a headache. Otherwise, you won't need a headache medicine. Similarly, all your negative and positive experiences are influenced by the hypothalamus. Your memory recall, right? your ability to uh, solve problems. Everything this plays a role in. Your gender behavior, your energy regulation, everything is controlled by this. And this falls into a spectrum. So let's just look at something here. Look at all these symptoms: digestive challenges, concentration challenges, body pain, weight challenges, disputes in relationships, sleeping trouble, anger, brain fog, sexual performance. Now, this intensifies, this becomes deeper, this uh, becomes dementia and derailment of careers and panic, palpitation. It becomes anxiety disorders. And all this is not random. All this are the symptoms of anxiety according to WHO. So we saw here how the negative side of the hypothalamic performance, which is giving you all these experiences, sum up to be anxiety, right? So what does the positive side look like? So the according to Vedanta psychology, the opposite of anxiety is not calm. The opposite of anxiety is clarity. And clarity is the mother of confidence. In whichever area of life you don't have clarity, you will feel uncertainty. Uncertainty is the mother of anxiety. So, clarity and confidence are the functional opposites of anxiety. And if you put it on a spectrum, this is something, a very oversimplified view of what the spectrum would look like. On a very high anxiety side, you feel fear, panic, palpitation, inability to learn, etc. As you move into the middle, you have experiences like irritability, disputes, hyperacidity, digestive challenges, energy loss, sleep problems, sexual performance problems, weight challenges. And as this moves on the right, the same thing, which suddenly was looking like a medical issue, becomes a super achievement, spectrum. Here you see productivity, solutions, insight, lightness, breakthrough. Either you don't start things or you complete them. So this was one of the big hidden gems we found. And if we try to make sense of this in an oversimplified way, we could put it like this, right? It seems that mental challenges, physical challenges, and life challenges can be put on a spectrum like this, right? They can be bucketed. At the worst side, you have complex health challenges, self-sabotage, suicide, paranoia. As you move up, you have anxiety, anger, depression, digestive problems. As you move further up, you have relationship challenges, finance, career, family challenges, self worth challenges, and then other leadership, specialization, growth, and finally excellence. And many of us, when we find ourselves stuck, not being able to go above the leadership spectrum, not being able to go above the specialization spectrum, the problem is because our hind leg is stuck in one of the issues behind. There's something in the relationship issue or something in the anxiety issue, something holding us back. So this itself was for us a very big revelation, right? So our first hidden gem was anxiety to clarity and confidence spectrum, understanding things as this spectrum. Now, the moment we found it, the next question: you can't manage what you can't measure. This led to our second hidden gem, which turned out to be an absolute breakthrough. I think this was the big moment in our research work. The first work we showed you was still more interpretive. It was simpler. Most of the frameworks existed. But this was, I think, the breakthrough work which came when we understood that everything we do using attention and energy. And it's not our attention span, or it's not who has more energy or less energy. It is what we are spending our attention and energy in. And our attention and energy is spent in three things: human physiology, human emotions, and human cognition. And how much is the distribution between these three things over a period of time? That is what really determines where we are on the anxiety spectrum. And this can be detected. And that's where we build the algorithm. So let me show you this 1.5 minute film so that I don't have to speak so much and you'll get a very clear picture.
Ankur, the audio is not coming through.
Sorry.
We couldn't hear the audio of the. I think you need to share the audio as well. Yeah. No, we can't hear the audio. Ankur, I think you're on mute. You're on mute, Ankur.
Can you hear me?
Now we can hear you. Okay. So the
I think
presentation.
what it does is it auto puts me on mute for some reason without me going on mute. So let me try this time. Can you see this?
Yeah, we can see the slide. Yes.
And now you can hear me?
We can hear you. Yes.
Okay. So I won't play the video. I'll try and explain it
Yeah.
myself. So the really fascinating thing we found was that your attention and energy expenditure can be measured from your sleep and food habits, right? And just by looking at your sleep and food habits, which are basically involuntary habits, we can see how you are spending all your attention and energy. What is your attention management and energy management like? And let me show you instead of the video, samples of some of the reports that we can find. Uh, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, just give me a second.
Oh, you've gone on mute again, Ankur. Sorry. Ankur, you're on mute.
I'm not on mute, but how's it now?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Sorry. I think every time you go into the presentation mode, it mutes you for some reason.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let me explain this to you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put up three reports one after another, right? And I'm going to show certain sections of the report. First one is a individual report which is available free of cost to everybody. The second one is a report that you can get only through certified mentors because it has much more detail. And third one is a team report that helps you calculate what the loss you are having to your company and how much productivity is being lost per day, right? So let me show you these three things right away. And Ajit, can you walk them through it because your audio would be open when I show those things, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll first show the free report, then the mentor report, and then the productivity loss report, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Group report.
So this is the cognitive attention score first report that you get. What you see here is your cognitive attention score, which shows 54.5. This is on a scale of 1 to 108. That's what the report shows first. Ankur, if you can scroll down. I'm not able to see it now. Okay. What you see on the screen here is the initial part of the report, which is the happiness forecast. The next 60 days, how the happiness forecast appears to you, which is in the next 60 days, how many days you would be in a blissful state or a growth state or a stuck, feeling stuck. That is what the sort of the report says, that how next 60 days would be for you based on your current mindset. It also says that next 60 days, in what zone, what zone you would be, whether you will be feeling stuck, energetic, uh, blissful state, or looking at growth, which is following your goals, trying to achieve your goals, following the rules that you have for yourself, so on and so forth. We will see the detailed report as it comes up on the screen later. Ankur, if you can go to the motivation, would you like to go there, or okay, I stopped seeing that now.
Okay, I can show the motivation.
Yeah, and the motivations, what we see here is there are six areas that the report highlights, or the focus is on. Physical, which is where, you know, it says dormant, which means probably you're not spending enough time doing certain exercises, or keeping up with your routine of whether gym or yoga or whatever that could be. Emotional, action, initiative, social, intellectual, and universal. These are the six areas that the report highlights as to where your energies or your attention is probably getting digressed, or not being enough time, attention to, and how this might be affecting your system today, whether it's endocrine system or excretory system, so on and so forth. So what the takeaway from this report for you in each of these areas is, what is it that you could do to bring back your attention, or move from dormant to, let's say, goal based, which is focusing on that area of physical, emotional, or social. The attention management system remedies, which I'm sure Ankur is going to talk about a little later, what those recommendation would be for you, which you can follow, and therefore experience this for yourself as to how your attention management improves.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you, Ankur.
Super. So this is the group report. This is a live report that we did for a company, a team for a sample. So this shows what the collective cognitive score of the company looks like. It shows how the people are spread across various categories. All this, the trained mentors know how to decode this. It shows how much preoccupation there is due to other kind of problems. What are the mental tendencies that can lead to conflict and politics, how high those are. It shows whether there's the slowdown in the company, how much is it is because of inaction and how much is because of compulsive addictive behavior. It shows the productivity level, and most importantly, it shows the burnout distribution of 22 people. This was the small team we did this for. So 5 people are in high burnout, 10 are close to burnout. Now, because of this, it shows the productivity loss. So look at the alarming level because of this. It shows that 97.5 days per annum of productivity is being lost to attrition and burnout, right? Because we use attrition and burnout together. Scientific papers behind this, the formulas we are using, uh, and that is 97.5 days for this company, right? And the burnout cost to them per employee is 50% of employee cost, right? That's very high. And if you want to adjust that for attrition, that's an adjustment of 12.6%, right? The same thing translated in dollar terms, and also a future financial risk of this company. So this is based on some of the data we take from the company, and this is based on the reports of individual employees, which are obviously not shared. They are fully they are HIPAA compliant, so we cannot share that data, or that only goes to the employee, but the company gets to see what's going on. We also project that if use the Ceekr protocols and you try to remedy this, what kind of result you can see in the first 6 months to 9 months. You could change the burnout profile of this company, and how that will affect productivity and costs across the board. So in the interest of time, I'll kind of move on quickly. Just tell me if you can hear me now.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, great. So that so the second hidden gem, the big breakthrough, was measuring the attention energy spectrum and finding its impact on your cognition, your emotions, and your physiology. Unfortunately, I couldn't show you the reports, but there's so much depth in those reports. There are over 150 mental and physical wellness markers, which include predictions on how you are likely to spend your money, whether your expenditure will rise too much or you will become over conservative, and how you're going to respond to your relationships. So the predictive AI pretty much shows a very interesting roadmap for your upcoming days.
So, Ankur, before you move forward, there's a question on the chat window, if I can ask.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. In what ways does combining AI with mind and attention coaching improve your employee productivity and focus? I think you briefly touched upon it, but I thought I'll just mention
Yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah. So I showed the report about how you can increase productivity, how you can reduce loss in dollar terms, and you can measure it in dollar terms, right? And also it creates creativity. So if you come to our booth, we'd be very happy to talk to you in detail about how it's impacted people. But I think we've lost a lot of time because of this sharing problem. So let me quickly try and summarize. So once we were able to find the second gem, then people started loving this work and they started asking, okay, I know the problem. How do I solve for it? Right? So that came the gem number three. So I want to share something with you. Recently, I came across this last year, December 2023. Dr. Sinclair, who you all may be familiar with, the big anti-aging guy from Harvard, he put out this post where he talks about a software which is encoded into our cells, right? And which has the secret to anti-aging, software encoded into our cells. And he's been talking about how this could reverse blindness, etc., etc. Yeah. So guess what? In 2017, the paper we put out, the causal mind model, this diagram is a diagram, a very raw diagram of this software that is in the human mind. According to yoga and Vedanta psychology, there's a software that controls the hypothalamus. It gives the commands to the hypothalamus, which acts at a cellular level. Yeah. And this is what we teach in our courses to coaches who come and understand how these things work, right? So this is the third gem, and the biggest work we've done so far is to find the architecture of this software, its pieces, how it works, how it operates. And we've recently published a paper in a neuroscience journal, Sage Neuroscience Journal, which also explains that even science now has started to acknowledge. So this is a review paper where we did a systematic review, and we saw so much scientific literature which now acknowledges that there's a synthesis that goes on in the above the hypothalamus, and that synthesis decides how the hypothalamus commands and how it changes the biology, which shows that there is something happening. Science already agrees there's something happening above the hypothalamus, which is driving the hypothalamus and controlling your response. So, which is ensuring whether you're going to win in the face of adversity or you're going to go down. That is being decided above the hypothalamus. And this paper outlines how that happens, and that's what we teach. So, based on these three gems, we created a program which we called the No Anxiety World Program, which is what we are here to present today. And for those of you who are interested in how to use this in your coaching practice or take this into your organizations, and how to measure anxiety and the dollar impact of anxiety and mental wellness in your organizations, we offer this. We also have a sub program called the No Anxiety Workplace program, which is a more recent thing. We've been doing this for a while with individuals. Now we've started doing this for companies. And this has four basic components. The first one is diagnosis and tracking, which is through the CAS, the reports you saw. The second is the detox. So, when the wrong you get into anxiety mode, basically that anxiety and stress is felt in your body through the wrong hormonal cocktails going from your hypothalamus. Yeah, your cortisol level, your adrenaline levels will rise. And this is a very interesting system borrowed from yoga and Vedant, where through the app, with a 5 to 10 minutes, sometimes 20-minute practice a day, you can totally detox and reset your hypothalamic activity. So it can change your biochemistry. People have magical results from this, and there are hundreds of people who have used this now. There are people go off sleeping pills in 5 days, and dramatic effect, right? And of course, creativity and brain fogginess and all that stuff happens very quickly. It's very simple to do. Then the other two products. The first one is the debug product that we do for end users who want to debug the human software, and this is an attention coaching product. We teach coaches how to handle this. And the top one is the rewire product, so that you don't need debugging. Your entire system gets rewired. This is an immersive program which is meant for coaches and psychologists, and this totally teaches them. So everything we've shown you, none of this is a secret. We teach it like physics and chemistry, and we're preparing it for to become like a syllabus for schools and universities at different levels. But we've already created the syllabus for a syllabus for coaches, and we teach that, and we license these products through coaches for organizations. So we don't deal with organizations without one of the mentors who we have coached. So just to end my talk, here is a coach who recently finished his program, and he was so excited that he sent this without our asking, on his own, informally, just recorded it on his phone and sent this to us. So just a quick share.
The audio is not coming through, Ankur. I think there's some challenge with this platform where the audio cannot be heard. Ankur, we cannot hear the audio.
Okay,
Are
my
you?
my misfortune. So in any case, you can hear me now.
Yes, yes.
So I'd invite all of you to take the CAS test. This is a QR code. You can scan it and take the test. You can also go to Ceekr.com and take the test. And you'll get a 100% confidential report on your mobile. It comes with a 2-minute audio advisory on your current mindset, and another advisory on your current challenges. Uh, and of course, please come to the booth and discuss with us. We are here, as you know. We're not a sales and marketing company, so we got to partner with the companies and coaches, and that's how this work is going to go to the world. So we are here to talk to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ankur. I don't see any specific questions. Mayur is asking, what are the charges for the 3 programs? Is it 100% online? Yes, it is 100% online. Mayur, for the charges for the program, may I invite you to please come on the booth, and we will discuss with you more on that. Payal had asked for the link, which Karthik has already put up on the chat. So thank you for that, Karthik. I think Payal was also asking, what about medulla oblongata?
So, the medulla oblongata or the frontal cortex, everything has to reconcile. So it's like saying that the limbic system, the medulla, and the frontal cortex, all the fear inputs, all the creative inputs, everything comes together someplace, right? And that's why now they call the hypothalamus the master switch, right? And that then it channels down from there. So you can see the research paper. You'll see this. This is not something we are
Yeah.
proposing. This already science now has gone beyond this.
Ankur, if you can just flash the screen once again and show the QR code. Somebody is trying to scan. That will be helpful.
Oh,
Khushbu, please do scan the code and take the CAS test.
yeah. Otherwise, you can even go to
Yeah,
Ceekr.
yeah, you can go to the Ceekr.com as well, but feel free to use the scan QR code.
So except for the Q&A, I was a good boy today. I ended in time.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks everyone for joining in, and please do visit the booth. We have the booth open for the Ceekr, and lot many questions will get answered there. And thank you once again today. Thank you, Ankur.
Thank you very much. Thank you guys for having us.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone. I'll just take that moment. You have already mentioned about your booth, and that was what I was supposed to ask. So you can easily, for the audience, you can visit the booth by going to the reception area, and there's a link. You can go there. And we are also up for a break, so you can also network people in the networking space. Thank you, Ankur.